Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode. My name is Jeanie Colclough, and I'm the owner of Riveting Trips. And today I want to have my very special guest, Marilena from Italy with Class. And she's going to talk a little bit about herself, what to do in Rome with children. And then also, if you don't know, 2025 is Jubilee. So what are we going to do in Jubilee? What's there to do in Jubilee? So Marilena, why don't you first introduce yourself? Thank you for coming here. And yeah.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to be here. And I'm talking from Rome. And Jubilee here, it's a big effort. In my lifetime and in my experience, I have done 2 Jubilee year already. It is not a big deal. It's a little bit more people coming to Rome, but we'll manage. Absolutely. I did not introduce myself. I'm sorry. I just started with the Jubilee year that I think it is actually the question that we get from everybody. So I thought, but let me introduce myself. My name is Marilena Barberi. I'm the founder of Italy with Class. It is our luxury brand. And it is strictly a B2B. We only work through travel advisor. We've been in the business for many, many years. Actually, Italy with Class has been in the business for 8 years, being, as I said, our luxury brand, but it is 30 years that I'm in the tourist business with Walks Inside Rome, which is doing only tours of Rome, Florence, and Venice, strictly tours. So I'm really a veteran in this kind of business. I'm getting old, I think.
No,
but,
you have lots of energy, Marilena.
Yeah, it is true. And I still enjoy what I do. I always said, when I will not enjoy, I will give up. But it's still this kind of job, the tourism, the business, the people gives me a lot of energy. So this is something about myself and about my company. Now, going back to the Jubilee year, because I think it is really the most important thing that everybody wants to know. And usually clients are afraid to come on a Jubilee year. But I have to say that it's not going to make much of a difference. The only area of Rome that will be really a little bit of a problem will be St. Peter Basilica.
Okay, the Vatican City and the whole area.
The Vatican Museum and the Sistine Chapel, they have a different entrance. We manage to get for them the ticket, the reservation. So there might be normally, instead of right now, they do maybe 5 minutes to get through the security check.
That's like the private tour. We want to ensure that listeners realize that that's through private tours and not the tours. I've seen lines wrap around the museum. Yes.
Yes, okay. It is true. There is a security like an airport.
Right, yes.
So there might be a little bit of a line today, 5-6 minutes, because you need to put everything into the conveyor belt and so on. In maybe next year, we will have 15 minutes to get through the security. But Still doable is not a problem. St. Peter Basilica sometimes and some days might be off limit because the Pope is going to use it for ceremony. So there's going to just be private invitation and we cannot see. So this is, I think, is the only problem that we are going to have. And then normally, if our client wants to cross and pass the famous Holy Door to get the redemption of all the sins, that is, everybody wants to be redeemed. Think about it, to start from sin number 1, and then whatever you've done is going to be canceled. It is really a big deal, and it makes worth to pay a trip to Rome. But not only in St. Peter we have an Holy Door, we have an Holy Door in some other basilica as well, like St. Mary Major, St. Paul outside the walls, and so on. So there are several other Holy Doors that are going to be able to give us redemption. So that's for it. The rest is going to be okay. The pilgrims that are going to come, they're going to be sleeping in nuns,
in the convents and stuff like that, monasteries, yes.
Monastery, they're going to be eating there. They're going to go around by bus. Our type of client are going to be completely different,
Right.
going to use a van, a limousine. They're going to have us supporting that. So really, honestly, for the first two Jubilee year, I haven't had any problem at
Okay.
all. So
I
I
think I
would
went to,
say,
yeah, I went to Rome the very first time during Jubilee and I was like, what is this? Right? Because I did not know what it was. And there were just thousands of people in the piazza, right? And that was
yeah,
when I think John Paul was still Pope,
yeah,
right? So yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So I would not really tell the people not to come to Rome. And
Okay,
then the rest of Italy, it's perfectly all right. I mean,
right.
nobody's going to, those people coming to Rome are strictly coming to Rome just to cross that holy door and to be with the Pope most of
Okay.
the time.
So then let's
That's what it,
transition to people who actually do want to take their children and maybe teens or multi-generational family to Rome, right? Because I went with my kids to Rome during Thanksgiving of last year. They had a blast. We did lots of activities. But could you tell us, like, if it's the first time for young kids or adults, what would you recommend? What are some activities you would recommend?
Allora, in Rome, there's really many things to do for kids. And we do a version of the Vatican Museum for kids with the Pope Mobile and mummies. We go to visit the Egyptian section of the museum because it is so big that normally we try to really have the kids that actually enjoy. Sorry.
Right. No, it's okay. No, I understand because the Vatican museums are huge and you cannot see everything in your first or one visit, right? Most people just visit
Yeah.
and then just end up in the Sistine Chapel, like they get kind of scurried along and that's all they really see. But
With the kids, we usually go down to see this Pope mobile because it is fun. There is all different kind of mobile from a couple of hundred
right.
years ago. So they like it. Then normally the mummies and the Egyptian, and then normally the Sistine Chapel, because the Sistine Chapel, it is something that everybody needs to see. So, and then it's important to have a kids friendly guide.
Yes, yes, I
That's
think.
what it really makes the difference.
And you're in touch with a lot of the best guides, I think,
Yeah,
right?
we have been working in Rome for so long that we do have a lot of guides that they are really good with kids. So that is for the museum. And I would not do more than 3 hours
Yeah,
because then otherwise it becomes tired. Because for a regular Vatican museum, you do need 4 hours. I mean, you could be a lifetime inside the
yes.
museum
I
and not
think,
see everything. But for the kids, the 3 hour that you just touch and see and you take the pictures.
right. Yeah,
It
no.
is very nice. That is, we have some questions and the scavenger hunt exactly, and I can color. It really depends on the age because
Okay.
there are some kids that they are like 8, 9, 10 years old, but they are smarter than us.
Yes, yes.
So
They really love history or they're
yeah,
inquisitive and they
so
ask lots of
it is
questions.
very difficult. You really have to see what kind of kids you're talking to
Right.
because otherwise you just lower the level of the tour
Yeah.
and it is not the case. So
Yes.
it is really important to see the age of the kids and what they have done. Usually parents know what to expect and what kind of tour, to ask. And we can really exactly plan and customize the tour accordingly. That's it goes for the Sistine Chapel and it's the same thing for the Colosseum.
Yeah, we did take a special entry to go down to the Mobile area, right? We're like, oh, we didn't even know this floor existed, right? So I think if you work with a local contact, you see things that 99% of the other tourists or travelers don't see,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. And from the Vatican, which is on the right bank of the Tiber River, the Colosseum,
Right.
possibly with kids in a different day. Otherwise, it would
Yeah.
be too
It
much,
might be a little
for
bit
them.
much.
Yeah. And, I would combine, always depends on the age of the kids. Honestly, it is very important. The gladiator school with the Colosseum,
So what do they do at the
which
Gladiator School?
They actually learn how to become a gladiator. And it is a lot of fun because, they dress
Right.
like a gladiator as well. And they have a museum, which is
Okay.
very educational because they really learn the history of what a gladiator used to do, the
Mm,
different type of gladiators, and how they used to fight and everything. So it is really interesting because it's one of the gladiator actually that tell them everything about the gladiators history and fame and so on, and it is quite nice. They enjoy it. So you could do first the gladiator school and then the Colosseum, or vice
vice
versa.
versa. Okay.
Normally, then there is the forum, there is the
Right.
palatine. It depends on the
Yeah.
kids, how the kids are.
Yeah.
If
No,
they
I think
really
also
like
the
and they
weather
don't
too.
get bored,
Yes.
and if they get bored, I think that would be nice just to keep it simple
Right.
with something that would interest them, like the Colosseum. Definitely, it's
Awesome.
like they
Yes.
really get so much excited, and the gladiator school as well. If the kids are actually good, then they could continue about 45 minutes into the Roman Forum and see where Julius Caesar
I
was
know.
actually cremated,
Yes.
and tell the history and the stories around it. It's always so nice.
Well,
And
I think
so,
if the kids are a little bit more educated, and I think a good guide can do that. A good guide can
mhm,
show you why and make it come alive for the children. It's fun because we've been to the Forum and Coliseum a couple times with our kids, but the first time they were so young, they probably don't remember it. But since we went again last Thanksgiving, they're like, "Oh, this is where Julius Caesar died or supposedly died, right? This is Vestal Virgins here,
yeah.
Colosseum, animals come out of these doors." And then we walked by Circus Maximus and said, "This, imagine that this used to be water and this area for the emperors to hang out and play and watch people play." That's why I love Rome. It's my favorite place in the world, right? You see the juxtaposition of the modern and the ancient together in one
There is
city.
so much actually. And I really think the beauty of Rome is that we never moved from the area. So if you scratch the surface,
Yes.
you can go down a century and centuries, and everything is still beneath, lying beneath. Below us, we have the ancient Rome.
Right.
That is the really amazing part. It's like a layer of lasagna.
It
It
is.
is. It's really amazing, this city. And there is so much. The Circus Maximus for the kids are really lovely right now. And they are right now a little bit all over, like at the Circus Maximus and the Domus area. They have this new equipment
Oh, okay.
where they can actually see how it was in the past.
Like VR, virtual reality kind of?
Virtual
Okay.
reality,
Virtual reality.
that usually we carry around books
Right.
before and after, and we could show the picture, but now it is even better because there is this virtual reality that are amazing, that really looks real, and the kids can really see how they were. And we have it a little bit all over in the Domus area, at the Circus Maximus,
Okay.
and up on the Palatine,
Oh,
the
okay.
House of Augustus as
Right.
well. They've just opened one. So really, it depends of the interest. We could really design something very special concerning ancient Roman history and where it all started.
Right.
Because it's like you learn, you are in school, but it is right there.
It's
You can
different
really
when it's in
see
front
what
of your
it
eyes.
is.
No, there's so much to see every time we go back, or every time I go back. There's so many layers. It's one of the best cities. How about other places, like other things? Would you recommend? I know when I was there, we did the golf cart tour, and I thought that was a lot of fun.
Yes, absolutely. Golf cart is a lot of fun. It's fun because you can see so much
Right.
in a short time, and you are not going to get tired. Especially depends on the time of the weather.
Right.
If it is hot, if the weather is hot, so you have the breeze and you can go. It is a light tour because it's not an in-depth tour, but
No.
you really see everything. And you
I
can go up to the Gianni Colclough,
right.
where you could see the view of Rome. You could do Trastevere. You can go on the Aventine,
Oh,
that
okay.
walking it's a little bit too much.
Yes,
You would need
yes.
either a taxi or a car or a van. So with a golf cart, you could do that. You could go to the keyhole. That is always so
Right.
much fun for the kids.
That was a nice
Or
surprise. Yes. If you want to
yeah, it's
learn
a
about that,
surprise for
yes, we
them.
can't tell the listeners too much about the keyhole. No, but I
Yeah,
think the golf cart tour is excellent for like that first day where you're a little bit jet lagged and you just want to ease in. You don't want to drag your kids to too many activities the first day or they won't remember it anyway. So,
yeah. And
yeah.
you can stop to get a slice of pizza. You
Right.
could stop to get a gelato.
Mm,
In between, you give little things to the kids
yes.
that they really love, that Rome is famous for, pizza and gelato. So that is always something very, very nice. And we can see everything. That is, we could go to the mouth of truth,
Oh,
so the
yeah.
kids can really have fun putting their
Putting their
hands
hand in the
into
that
this
that
big
lion.
mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lion's mouth. We're not
Yeah.
going to tell them what it was. We're going to
Uh,
keep it as a surprise. Otherwise, the magic and the dream goes away.
yeah.
And so that is shh,
Oh,
that is something that we can do. And I mean, another thing that really kids like is to do some cooking
right.
classes.
They do like it. Yeah.
And we do have like pizza making or gelato making
Mm,
or gnocchi or meatballs. That is always something very, very nice. They enjoy it so much. And it is a moment to really be with some Italian, because normally the chefs are Italian.
right.
And so they enjoy, they can sit down, they can eat. It's really a moment that all the kids enjoy, and it's relaxing because after maybe they have done the Vatican and the Colosseum, and so they are really a little bit tired. They
Yeah.
go
Something
there and they have to
hands-on.
have dinner or lunch,
Right.
so it
Okay.
is good to combine with one of those two things. So that's another things that we do for kids and family quite a
Okay.
lot.
How about Appian Way? Are there any family-friendly activities on Appian Way? Because, a lot
Well,
of tourists don't make it out there, or travelers don't make it out that way.
that we do a tour to go and see the aqueduct, to walk on the
Right.
cobblestone, that they're really over 2,000 years old. It is really magic. Or you could do a bicycle tour,
Okay.
but they got to be trained, because it is true on a Sunday there are no cars, but it is not 100% true, because then the local can go home normally, and there are a few cars. So it is a little bit, I would say, tricky, depends of the age of the kids. We
Okay.
do a lot of bicycle tour, even with the picnic on the old Appian Way, that we go into a winery where it's a tables among the vineyards,
Oh,
and we do
beautiful.
this picnic. But it depends if really the kids can use the bicycle really
Okay.
well.
Are e-bikes as popular in Rome as they are here in the US? E-bikes, electronic bikes, not so much.
There are e-bike, yes, we
Okay.
do. There are. You have to consider the traffic
Okay. Yeah.
sometimes, which how it can be. We do
Yeah.
not have too many bicycles for
Yes.
road for bicycle. We still needs to go.
Okay.
That is, we are a little bit behind on that. And apart, what another thing they could do that really, even for kids of 5, 6 years, we have the Borghese Park.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah.
Villa Borghese,
Yeah.
it's lovely. There is a little lake with the boat on the lake. So that could be something nice, even for the kids. They could rent a bicycle in the park,
Right.
because in the park, there are no cars. Okay. So they could rent a bicycle. They could be bicycling in the park. They could rent a little boat and go in the lake. And it would be nice. It's a nice way to spend a few hours, I
Right.
would
What if
say.
what if travelers go to Rome for the holidays, like winter holidays, like Christmas? What do you think are some family activities you can do during those holidays? in that time?
Well, you know that normally we have many Christmas trees. We have a lot of nativity scenes, a little bit all over. We have a lot of food that is
Yes.
typical for Christmas that they can enjoy and taste. We have some Christmas market,
Right.
you know, that they are lovely to go through. And then normally all the rest is available.
Yeah.
Because last year, until La Befana, which
Hmm.
is the 6th of January, the weather was absolutely incredible. It
Yes.
was really good. We had client and I couldn't believe that we had such a weather during that period. So really things are changing weather-wise. So it's becoming more and
Yes.
more like November, December, still
It's
really
pretty
good weather.
warm.
Something else for the kids that it is good to do, it's a mosaic class.
Oh, really? Okay. I have not heard of that one. What's that one all
We
about?
have a mosaic class, we have a painting class, we have a couple of artists that they're really great for the kids.
Okay.
So we go to their atelier or we
Okay.
bring them, and depends on the number of the kids.
Right.
And so normally they learn how to make fresco technique,
Okay.
which they can learn how Michelangelo painted, for
Yeah.
instance, or they could learn with Caravaggio way of
Okay.
painting, or mosaic class. The mosaic class is so fun. And then you know that what they make, they could bring it with them.
Yes, they can bring it back home, right? And it's not something
Especially
massive.
the
Yeah.
mosaic, they can bring it back with them
Yeah.
right away.
Yeah.
We used to do pottery class as well,
Yes.
ceramics, but then needs to be cooked, it needs to be shipped. So it's a
Yeah.
little bit more
Time consuming. Yeah,
elaborated.
it's a little harder.
We have seen that the best things, it is actually the mosaic.
Yeah. Keep it simple for
Then
the kids. Yes.
it's very simple. You have somebody that teach you how to do, how the Romans used to do it. And there is again something educational. I have done this year also painting en plein air,
What's
which
that? Oh, like
means
outside?
outside
Okay.
with the two artists,
Right.
the famous castle,
Okay. Yes.
Castel
Angela, that.
Sant'Angelo, that
Yeah.
Sant'Angelo Castle,
Yes.
that is another absolutely attraction for our
Yes.
kids. And it could be a tour just to combine maybe with Piazza Navona, because you
Right.
know
Because they're right
it takes a
across.
while to go
Yeah.
up, but it is so attractive and so beautiful. And then we just gave them colors, watercolor, and they
Oh.
painted the castle.
I mean, years ago, we took our kids on a 3-week trip in the summer and we went to Milan. And Milan, it was just celebrating the 500th year of Da Vinci's death. So we got our kids some notebooks and some pencils, and they just sat in the courtyard of Castello Sforzesco, just like drawing for a couple of hours, right? Just
That's it.
inspired by all this art. They had just gone through the exhibit and Da Vinci and just his life, and they were amazed. I just want to thank you for coming on this episode, Marilena. We learned so much from you.
Thank you to you. Thank you for inviting me.
And we
See
will
you
have
in Rome with your
yeah.
kids.
Yeah. So if you enjoyed this episode, please hit like and share and subscribe. And thank you once again for joining us. Ciao, everybody.
Ciao.